Hello, Midland friends. Here I am again with my report, as I promised yesterday, my report on the water workshop or town hall that Dan Corrales had today with the opening by Mayor Lori Blong on February 22nd. Today was this morning. It was a lot. I mean, it's something that I do not understand. I'm not an expert on that area, and Dan Corrales brought four experts, one engineer, one the guy that is the utilities manager, the city attorney, and also the deputy manager, city manager. So they were very profound, very diligent. They have been doing a very diligent type of work with our water needs and water supply for now and needs for the future. So, as such, as it was a very thorough, and for those of you who have social media, who do social media, both on Instagram and especially on Facebook, where Dan Corrales he live streamed on his Facebook page. You can go there, and not only you're going to see all the information, specific information about the meeting this morning, but you will also see the PowerPoint presentation that he presented to us, those who were there this morning. Very detailed information about our needs and the challenges, actually big challenges. And what I am going to do very quickly and very briefly here is to address with you all what I found to myself, to my intellectual understanding, was something that, or were things that I could absorb, assimilate, and somehow translate into this informational video. So he was talking about Midland we as a community having a 100-year challenge for water now. They have been working on our water needs and water supply needs for the year 2110. So it's a 100-year challenge. He said that what gives us a good stand today on the water issue are the decisions made by the council, by the mayor, and by the professionals in the 60s and the 70s. The mayor was there, and when she was there, she said this very catchy phrase, "He who has the water makes the rules." Especially here in this arid, very dry landscape that we are located in. This is absolutely critical. So again, there's a lot. I'm going to skip a lot of stuff here. One thing that really caught my attention was that today we have a possibility of spending, of using every single one of the close to 150,000 inhabitants of Midland, 17.5 million gallons of water a day. And the City Hall, City Council, the City of Midland has secured that we can use that 17.5 million gallons every 24 hours until 2030. So we have 7 more years to go. The water that we don't use, we need to pay anyway. So if we use less than 17.5 million gallons, we will be paying it anyways. But the problem is that we cannot use much more than that, as happened in the year 2011. He gave specific information on the severe drought, and all of the 3 sources of water in Midland, they were in critical conditions, 2 of them being very low, and 1 of them being only 15% with water. That was 2011, 80 days with no rain. And that year, if I am not mistaken in my numbers, I did not take note, but I think it rained 5.4 millimeters or cubic millimeters of rain. So that was nothing. It was ridiculous. That year, 2011, because all of that drought, the Midlanders, that was 12 years ago. 12 years ago. Midlanders have in mind that right now we are using 17.5 million gallons of water every day. In 2011, we used 42 million gallons a day. I didn't use it. I was not here. You did. 42 million gallons a day. And they were forced, they meaning the City Hall, City Council, the staff, they were forced to somehow work to reduce that back to the 17.5 or 18.5 by using legal tools for that. And they gave demonstrations of what those legal tools were. Right now, Tier 5, this is another thing that caught my attention. Very palatable, very easy for us to understand, and pretty much this is something that is in all of our interest to know. Right now, we are paying between $4.65, and again, if my numbers are not correct, $4.65 for Tier 1 of water payment, until Tier 5, $13 per 1,000 gallons. So $4.65 to $13 per each 1,000 gallon content that we use in our homes every day. Then I asked my question when it was time for questions and answers. I asked them what was the growth expectation for Midland, because they brought that out many times. We're growing. Population is increasing. The increasing or the growth trend has been kept the same as the deputy city manager said. 6 or 7 years ago, Midland was one of the 10 fast growing cities in America. I was not aware of that at all, like not by a long shot. So they said that the growth expectation for the next 10 years, actually 10 to 25 years, is around 50 to 75,000 people, which would elevate the population that is already here from 142, 45, some people say 150,000, to at least an average 200,000 in 10 years, 10 to 25 years. I don't know where they're taking those numbers from, because I told them, I saw some different numbers. I saw numbers that the trend for Midland is not to grow, at least not to grow that much, is to not decrease, but to be stabilized. Anyways, there are different sources for that, and now I'm going to do my homework to try to find the sources for that. I will exchange some emails with Dan Corrales and with also the deputy city manager, so they can provide me with the sources of their response that the growth expectation is that big, like 1/4 of the population in 10, let's say average 15 years. They were talking about the problem with right-of-way today, meaning the land where the tubulation, the tubes, the pipelines are going to be passing by, and the engineer, the city's engineer, actually he is an engineer for a third party, a company that is contracted, hired by City Hall. He said, of course, obviously, land is much cheaper today. The more we delay the response, the more that we delay the decision to purchase land, especially in this 67-mile. He was talking about the T-bar, not T-bone. I'm hungry. The T-bar, 67 miles from Fort Stockton, I think, to Midland. There was a lot of information out there. I'm so sorry that I have a lot in my head right now. But anyways, the earlier we purchase the land and we pay for royalties and we pay for property and we pay for lease for the water or whatever, the faster we're going to pay, number one, and secure the rights to use for the pipeline to cross those lands later. It has to be a long-term thing. What else? I also asked them, I remembered, and that was my question, 2 or 3 years ago, I think I was in San Angelo with Jamie Berryhill. Many of you know him. He was one of the 11 or 12 candidates for District 11 congressional seat that was taken by August Pfluger now. And I was in one of the debates in San Angelo, and the mayor of San Angelo was there. I don't remember if it was that event or another city event. Anyways, I was there. The mayor was very mad at Midland. She was saying that Midland was not being fair in terms of the securing water for the city, that Midland was very aggressive. And then my question was how, because I have no idea of how competition for such thing as water is possibly the most important commodity that a city may have, that a country may have, right? How is the behind the curtains competition? Because I told them I assumed that the mayor of San Angelo, the mayor of Abilene, the mayor of Big Spring, the mayor of Stanton, they're all fighting for that water as well. And my response, the response that they gave me was, well, Midland has an economic contribution that is so strong to this entire region that for the mayor of Midland not to fight with everything he or she has, and that time it was, when I was there, it was Mayor Patrick Payton. If the mayor of Midland does not fight with everything he or she has to secure more water for the city, since we are paying a lot of the taxes in the state, since we are producing a lot of the economic engine, we're part of the economic engine in such a powerful way, then the mayor would be considered very weak, not securing that for a city that provides so much economically to the state and to the region, to the Permian Basin, for the mayor not to fight for that. So, of course, money out of oil and gas. They also said that water for Midland is a national security issue because the oil business needs that, and oil business is, as Representative Pfluger has been repeating over and over again, that oil and business has become a national security issue. And he even, a couple of weeks ago, he brought a group of congressional people here, not only Republicans, Democrats as well, here at the Bush Convention Center. I was not here. That was the only reason I was not there. I was in Dallas. But they put out a very, they meaning Representative Pfluger, put out a very informative and very strong, in terms of media. All the media was there, and the representatives that were here brought back to DC a very strong impression of everything that has been done here. Because again, as he says, Rep. Pfluger says and repeats that a lot, they know nothing about the entire process. So those who came brought back to DC a lot of information, a lot of hands-on information on that. What else? I think that is it. They were pretty much focusing on how important economically Midland is for not only this region, not only for Texas, but for America in the oil and gas production. And this is why we should secure that. And this is how, and this is actually why, the reason for them to be thinking ahead 100 years in the future to do that. Many of us are not going to be here in 100 years, in 50 years, in 20 years. We don't know even about tomorrow, right? But it gave me a very, very good impression, and I really congratulated each one of them after the town hall was over for their diligence, for their boldness, their courage, and their discipline to find ways of securing for the next generations, not only our children, but also our grandchildren, the water supply for Midland and for its needs. Okay, that number astounded me, and I want to end with it. 17.5 million gallons of water. There's a lot of water. We usually don't think about that, right? So pray for these people. I left there with the impression that we need to pray much more than we have been doing. Pray for them, pray for energy, pray for a mind that is sound and wise, so they can make wise decisions, so they can do whatever it's in their power, justly, fairly, legally, constitutionally, so we can leave a legacy for our children and grandchildren in the water arena. Okay, God bless you all. And a very important thing I almost forgot. Next week, February 28th, next Tuesday, it is already on the agenda of the council, the beginning of the conversations about who the next city manager is going to be. So I will be there. I invite you to be there with me. This is very important. We need to know. We need to see the background. We need to approve. We need to follow through and follow up the process of selecting the new city manager. That is very important, not only for legal and practical professional purposes, but especially we need somebody that the more we can, is this person may be aligned with God's principles, have somebody that has the heart for the kingdom of God, and based on the principles. I'm talking about the principles that rule and ground and found the kingdom of God and his will. Okay, so again, next Tuesday, I will be letting all of you know. I'll be sending you information about that, and be there with us. We need to engage. Civic engagement is very important and crucial for these guys to know that we are with them, not only to say no, as we've been saying a lot of no's, but also that we are there not only to say no or yes, but to pray for them, to stand along with them. Okay, thank you very much. God bless you all, and I will be back soon with more information on our local level. Bye-bye.